Hi everyone, welcome to my April reading wrap-up. I had a great month reading 7 books in total. I feel very proud of that number, and I'm so excited because I have a beautiful idea for my monthly cover page for April. I've always associated the month with purple because it's one of my mom's favorite colors and her birthday is in April too. So it's more sentimental for me, and she also really loves lavender. So this page is an ode to her. Since I'm just drawing a few sprigs of lavender, it's not a very complex design, but it does take a little bit of time to do. And this helps because I have so many books to review that I wanted to keep it a little bit more simplistic. In this page, I'm using my Zebra Mildliners, my Papermate felt tip pens, as well as my Tombow Fudenosuke pen. This pen also has a felt tip, which helps with writing calligraphy, light and bolded letters, and most things fancy. The first book I read in April was Powerful, which is the novella following Powerless by Lauren Roberts. The Powerless series is very popular in the book community, and it centers on a romantic fantasy with characters that have powers and those that don't, in a society that punishes the ordinary. This story follows Adina, the best friend of the protagonist of the series, Peyton. As Peyton gets selected to be part of deadly trials, even though she is an ordinary hiding in secret, Adina is alone, missing her best friend and fending for herself in the loop, the slums of the city. There she meets Mac, who teams up with her as they try to see their loved ones in the trials. The romance between them is very sweet because Adina is pure sunshine. She's obsessed with sticky buns, and even though Mac is a brooding grump, he was obsessed with her and got her sticky buns whenever she wanted. I rated this 3 stars because even though the writing is not for me, it was a good novella that made me feel things. Next, I read Funny Story by Emily Henry, Romance Queen, and Funny Story follows Daphne and Miles after Daphne's fiance and Miles's girlfriend dump them for each other. Daphne and Miles become roommates in the wake of all this heartbreak, and Daphne eventually begins anew, luckily already in her dream job as a children's librarian. Spy the book washi tape. I love that Daphne and Miles give each other room to breathe and space to grow as they mourn part of their lives. Though complete opposites, Miles being spontaneous and Daphne being no-nonsense, they open up to each other and hatch a plan to get revenge on their exes. This story is full of vulnerability, individual growth, and owning who you are, and I rated it 4.5 stars because it was just excellent. Heartless Hunter is my 3rd read, and it was a very delicious cat and mouse romantic fantasy. After a catastrophic revolution removing witches from power, Rune Winters secretly acts as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante rescuing her kind from persecution. Gideon Sharp, a captain of the witch hunters and Rune's best friend's brother, is determined to find and punish the Crimson Moth. Gideon and Rune's paths collide as Rune uses her social standing to cover her vigilantism, and Gideon, suspecting the truth, begins to court her. They both want to keep their enemies closer, so to speak, and fall for each other in the process. I absolutely loved moments where Rune acted like a superficial socialite, even though she was really smart and helping people. And though I wish we got more flashbacks to the revolution, overall I found this unlike anything else I've ever read before. And I rated it 4.5 stars because of its excellent world building, and the writing is absolutely beautiful. The second and last book in this duology is already out, and I can't wait to read it. Next up, You with the View is such a sweet read that completely took me by surprise. The author's writing style immediately transported me into the book, and it's a book with so many tropes that I love, including a rivalry romance. Noelle is grieving her grandmother when she finds letters that point to her grandmother's long-lost love. And Noelle posts a TikTok video that goes viral looking for this long-lost love, and in this she finds Paul. And Paul offers her to take her on a honeymoon vacation that he and her grandmother planned but never got a chance to go on. Noelle jumps at the opportunity, but Paul's grandson and coincidentally her high school rival Theo comes along too. The romance between Theo and Noelle is inevitable, seamless, and absolutely beautiful as they see the worst and best parts of each other and are just meant to be. I rated it 4.5 stars and I highly recommend it to anyone who loves romance. Then I read Reckless, which is the second book of the series following the events of Powerless and the novella Powerful. It follows Peyton, an ordinary who commits a terrible crime after the purging trials, which test the most powerful and up-and-coming people in the society. Peyton runs away across the desert to the city of Dor, where ordinary people are accepted and people with powers aren't as valued. Kai Azar is the king's enforcer, and he's tasked with bringing Peyton back, even though he's conflicted because of his feelings for her. Peyton and Kai challenge each other as they journey through the desert, even though they don't want to admit how much they care for each other. This book is more character relationship focused rather than having a lot of plot to it, and the writing is very descriptive and poetic, but not necessarily in my taste. The audiobook did help because the voices are very well done, and I rated it 2 stars because I need a bit more substance to keep reading. The second to last book I read in April is The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. It is a second chance romance where Nora McKenzie, a sports agent, and her college ex-boyfriend, NFL tight end Derek Pender, reunite after a messy breakup. Her entire career hinges on Derek, her first official client, and his cooperation. Derek is determined to make her life difficult, though, fueled by his previous heartbreak, and then a night in Vegas leads to unexpected consequences, forcing both of them to confront their feelings and all of the rules that they've set for their business relationship. Spoiler alert, they break all the rules. I love this book so much because it combines so many of the tropes that I love, and I thought I was reading a book that was made for me. The author not only focuses on the relationship, but the characters' individual arcs and their careers, and the past eventually makes sense to focus who they are in the present. A special highlight in this book are Derek's teammates having such a cute bromance. I rated this 4 stars because it had a great romance, charming side characters, and so much spoon for everyone. Lastly, I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, a very popular romance centered around Anastasia, a driven figure skater aiming for the Olympics, and Nate, the captain of the hockey team, both students at the fictional University of California, Maple Hills. A prank gone wrong forces the hockey team to share the ice rink with the figure skaters, leading to friction between both the groups. Through some icebreakers and time together, they all become friends, and Anastasia and Nate become a lot closer. This book has many layers to it, including Nate's issues with his overcritical family and Anastasia's issues with stress and an eating disorder. With all they have going on, they both make each other stronger, and they also build a found family with all of their friends. I rated this 4 stars because it's very sweet, and it also has a lot of potential with the series with their friends exploring their own relationships. Highly recommend. And here I'm going to fill in the titles that I read in my little library in this reading journal. This is a way I found really helps me keep track of the books that I read throughout the year and also the books that I read in each series because I line them up together. I try to keep this nice and colorful to make me happy. Next up to evaluate is my book bingo. Though Heartless Hunter may be a Kindle Unlimited book, I didn't read it on there, so I'm not going to count it. And I have my priority series tracker where I'm filling in Powerless because I've already read the first novel and now the second novel in the series, and can't forget the novella as well. I definitely have a lot more to go. My favorite book of the month is Funny Story because it made me cry but also warmed my heart at the same time, like all of these. And there you have it. That's my April reading wrap up. I had a romance and fantasy heavy month, and I'm grateful because I love both those genres. They keep me reading. I hope you got some good recommendations out of this video. If you enjoyed this video and want more of this, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below. I'd love to hear your favorite book trope or genre down below. And until next time, thank you so much.